Andrey Klepikov has been executive director of the Alliance, as I mentioned, for 13 years in Ukraine. Last year, official figures revealed that the number of new HIV infections in Ukraine fell in 2012 for the first time since 1999. Finally, an important and significant breakthrough. This reduction has been attributed to a change in policy that allows clinics to distribute clean needles and methadone to drug users. The majority of these programs have been implemented by Alliance Ukraine, the largest linking organization in financial terms within the Alliance, and one that addresses the epidemic primarily through its manifestation among injecting drug users. Unique among the three presentations this morning in that respect. So, Andrey, we look forward to hearing from you.
Thank you, Stephen. Good morning, all friends and new colleagues. It's an honor to talk at this session, opening session. I'm from Ukraine, from the region of Eastern Europe and Central Asia, where, as you rightly mentioned, epidemic is primarily driven by injecting drug use. I'm from the region where epidemic is still going up and donor funding is going down. I'm not going to talk about Alliance core business now. I assume that as you have managed to get into the room, you know about the Alliance, what it is and it does. But I would like to share with you what you might not be aware of. I would like to talk to you about Alliance side effects. Side effects is a term which usually used in a negative meaning, but not necessarily. You know, for example, Viagra. It was invented based on the side effect of erection from the pills regulating blood vessels. Relaxing blood vessels. So I try to talk to you about Alliance Viagra, Alliance side effect erection. Alliance Ukraine slogan, motto is supporting communities impacting the epidemic. We did and do more. We impact in the country. To get a sense how complex the program is, I will give you an example, just one group we are working with, injecting drug users. Last year, 2013, nearly 190,000 of injecting drug users had accessed services supported by Alliance. If we will add the social implications on the nearest environment, say parents and partner, we will come up with 1 million. 1 million of Ukrainian citizens benefited only from services provided to one group, injecting drug users. 1 million, well, for China maybe it's peanuts, yeah? But for European country, 1 million of population, it's very substantial group of people. So we usually don't think about implications of our direct work to wider population, but it is an implication. You quoted the article, the Lancet, I think, article, where the Ministry of Health quoted saying that, yes, we achieved the impact on the epidemic through harm reduction and methadone provided through clinics. And when I firstly saw this article, I was thinking, oh, but this is not true. Actually, it's we, Alliance, civil society, we include this. But then I looked with different eyes. I remember that 10 years ago, government officials were even afraid to pronounce this ugly word, methadone or harm reduction. So now they do all the best to get associated with this. Even if they're not doing this directly, they value it so much that they would like to say that it's we, it's the ministry, it's the government who does methadone with its through clinics. So it's really a change of the mindset. Is it a side effect? Absolutely. Another thing to mention is that, access to IRT was mentioned. We went through this journey when 10, 12 years ago, only 250 patients had access to RT treatment. And when the first grant from the Global Fund was provided to Ukraine, Alliance got involved, and over the course of the grant, of round 1 grant, we managed to increase the overall number of patients in 40 times, from 250 patients to 10,000. And now it's 50,000, and there is a clear plan to increase it beyond 100,000. It was done not just because of work of the Alliance, but we managed to invest into infrastructure, provide technical support, but even more substantially, leadership was changed. Because when we started in 2003, 4, 5, Alliance did 85% of all procurement. All the patients in the country were supplied by drugs procured by Alliance. Now it's the government. It's a fundamental shift we achieved. Another example is a recent one with Hep C treatment. It was a vicious cycle that everybody acknowledged that, yeah, it is a big issue, but we cannot do anything with this because of high price. So we broke this cycle. We reduced the price versus market price 2.5 times lower, from $13,000 to $5,000 for 48 weeks course of regulated interferon. And now government following our example. Government took Alliance price as a benchmark. And not only Ukrainian government, but also in Georgia. So it's really had regional implications. Fighting corruption is another area, because I remember when we started procuring IRT. Government does IRT procurement with the national budget, paying 27 times higher price than the market price. It was like buying a piece of bread for $100. Yeah? It's hardly to imagine. Nobody sells bread for this price. But Ukrainian government somehow managed to buy it. Sophisticated, yeah? And so when we started to procure IRT with the normal price at the same country, at the same time, we not theoretically but practically influenced them. We set the kind of quality standard, transparency standard, and now it's adhered. Now AIDS procurement considered as a golden example, not only within the Ministry of Health, but beyond. We set the standard, and now it's really controlled not only by us, but even by patients and by NGOs, civil society. So it's really a big difference. Few other small things. We put a lot of efforts in building civil society and network of people living with HIV. 13 years ago was an organization which was just formed with a few people, a group of activists. Now it's one of the major recipients of the Global Fund grant with multi-million dollar grant. And it's just one example, but we worked with over 150 NGOs and really built different civil society now. I received a Christmas card from the president. And I got another one before on Independence Day in August. I've never received cards from the president before. And it's also, I'm not a big fan, big supporter of him, rather opposite. I want him to resign. But basically, and I never sent Christmas cards to him. But the good thing really is that someone in his administration put Alliance on the list, as perhaps several other civil society organizations. And this is evidence that even if we don't maybe very much like each other, it's acknowledgement that we need to build relations, maintain relations, and he needs, as a representative of the government, to build and maintain relations with civil society. Just few examples with Macedon. One is very unique, and I'm usually not telling this widely to bigger audience, because with Macedon it was not available in Ukraine till quite recently, and now over 8,500 patients are on Macedon. But what does it mean in terms of side effects? With putting drug users from the criminal environment to the medical facility, we undermine the legal drug business. When we calculated the losses for illegal drug business, we came up with quite big figure. Math is very simple. Drug users spend for illegal drug $10 per day, roughly. Multiply by 365 days and multiply by 8,500 patients. The figure is $31 million per year. So we drain from illegal drug business $31 million in 2003. I better keep quiet and not tell it to media, because these guys are definitely not happy about this. Yeah, and final comment. Side effects, what side effects are they? It's community system strengthening, health system strengthening. This is the two cornerstones of sustainability. It is a good return on investment, because basically there was no investment. It came as a side effect, as non-predicted, as additional side effect with no specially dedicated funding. Pure value added. It's a miracle, but we need further changes, and as adult people, we should know that miracle cannot last forever. So if we are serious about sustainability, you should invest in it. Pfizer took a lot of advantages from the side effects they found. And so do we.